Welcome, everybody. This is Ray Maietta, president of ResearchTalk, and we have another one of our qualitative conversations today. We're going to be talking with Alison Hamilton and one of her summer intensive courses. And Alison will introduce herself in just a moment. And the course that we're featuring a conversation about today is Qualitative Methods in Rapid Turnaround Projects. And the subtitle is Strategic Decision Making for Rigor and Flexibility. Both parts of that title are critical. The course is offered July 30th and 31st.
So, hi everyone. I'm Alison Hamilton. I'm an anthropologist, implementation scientist, professor in the Department of Psychiatry at UCLA, and a research career scientist in the VA. And I've been teaching this course for ResearchTalk, where I've been a consultant for a few decades, since 2013. It's always one of my favorite courses to teach because the work that we're doing in this area of qualitative methods is constantly evolving and constantly shifting and growing and expanding, and that makes it really exciting. We're always going to adhere to this idea that the data is our guide. That's our North Star in Sort and Sift, Think and Shift. And we really emphasize that a lot in rapid turnaround because that's going to be the evidence, so to speak, that we use to move us toward that conceptual work. And unless and until we have that strong sense of what's in the data, we're maybe making leaps to conceptual takeaways that we haven't really grounded. We pay more attention to that and make sure that we've got a really solid body of evidence to help bring us to those conceptual places. And then there are tools and techniques that we use within the approach that I think are really helpful for getting to that place in a more accessible way, or at least that's my goal. And that's a lot of what we work on. And I think that's one of the areas where this approach has really evolved over the years, is kind of where do we go? What are our next steps beyond, the sort of core rapid turnaround work? One of the things that we emphasize in all of our work in ResearchTalk is the issue of alignment and thinking about how can we align our methods with the questions that we're asking? Not that we wouldn't shift them, because sometimes we shift our questions. What we think about in more rapid turnaround qualitative work is the question of audience and the question of end goal and the combination of end goal and audience. One of the things that we often do in our rapid turnaround work is literally create space, like whether it's a slide or a document or however we want to hold on to it, we make space for surprises. So we want to kind of have that lens or orientation toward unexpected discovery, toward things we didn't really set out to hear about, learn about, ask about, see, etc., but that almost inevitably come up when we're doing qualitative work, because we just can't know everything about what it is we're going in to study. We can, have a pretty good sense of things and be a little bit more focused, as we need to be in rapid turnaround work, toward the goals, as I was mentioning before, of this work. But we want to keep that room for discovery and be really intentional about having a literal space to document the things that we weren't expecting. I have found in turning around different products for different types of constituents that they are often very, if not more, interested in the surprises. So even though we give them what they've asked for, we, do our best to answer the questions that they enlisted us to ask about. When we get to, okay, yes, here are the things you were looking for, here's the information you wanted. And we also heard, about these other aspects of this phenomenon. It usually is like, oh, I didn't know that. That's interesting. We didn't know about that. And so some of it is just getting that reaction from the audience to know, okay, we might be onto something here. We can have different perspectives on that and what our relative responsibility is for that. But depending on the type of work we do, we really may need to align, to use that word again, with what those constituents are wanting from this work. And so if that is a helpful way of thinking about how we do what we do with qualitative methods, then I think it could, really be relevant to people who are going beyond the sort of rapid turnaround rubric to this. So I think because this work in more rapid turnaround context is fast, faster than we might do our work otherwise. It's important to be intentional about that because it can get lost if you're not kind of keeping it top of mind on the radar for, this is going to be a component of what we do, even though we've got a more focused approach to collecting the data and analyzing it. We really emphasize that a lot in rapid turnaround because that's going to be the evidence, so to speak, that we use to move us toward that conceptual work. People are getting very sophisticated with this and asking a lot of hard questions and really pushing the technique. So that's exciting.